Well, what do we say about media? We're supposed to be the interface between you and those who you put into public office to be more responsible for you. But, well, for many times when that sort of responsibility is not undertaken, we just have to come to your homes, wherever we find you, to get the stories extracted from you. So, well, we had Kojo Yankson doing that this week on the subject of kidnappings. And apparently, all the crisis issues on kidnapping and its reports in the Sekondi Takoradi area are not only isolated to that area. There are some across the country that just have not been reported to the Ghana Police Service. What do we do about these? That will be the next focus of our stories on kidnappings and those who are missing. But the man himself is in the studio today. Good morning to you, Kojo.
Good morning, Daddy Ruru.
Great work you did there.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Telling the story is always important, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. And
Right.
it was a very different experience living and speaking with the people who are worst affected by this kidnapping saga. But more on that later. Just before we left, there were some rumors floating around in Takoradi that another person had been kidnapped. I did some work to see if we could confirm that. The police are saying that they have received no such complaint, but the family member, a family member of this supposed kidnapped girl is adamant that this has indeed happened. We'll see what we can clarify out of that matter today. But on the broader issue of personal safety and so forth, we'll be talking with our colleague in Takoradi, Natalia Kwansa, who's been keeping an eye on things since I left yesterday.
Well, we'll also touch base with the mayor of the area, Anthony Sam. We're hoping that at least his promise the last time we spoke to him to visit some of the families of these victims. He's been able to do that. Well, let's keep the taps on all the things relevant, because we still have the hashtag ongoing on social media. Bring back our tardy girls. Facebook, JoyNews on TV. We have Joy997, other relevant platforms on multimedia, and also on Twitter. And of course, we have the others.
Yes, and you know, it's a good time to be in Yendi.
Yes,
as
it is.
There's going to be a very rich display of their culture. It's going to be one of those wonderful fiestas because a new Yana will be installed today. Yona Abukari Mahama was selected after 17 years of dispute in that area. Justice Bedu is right there with the rest of our team, and as leader, he'll be bringing us some live updates. So stay with us. It's going to be colorful, fantastic, and celebratory up in Yendi.
Meanwhile, also on the show, we'll be talking other issues from the area, but also discussing the subject of child trafficking and how the International Justice Mission, an international Christian organization with a mission to protect the poor from violence by rescuing victims, is bringing criminals to justice, restoring survivors to safety, and also strengthening and helping local law enforcement agencies build a safe future that could last to end some of these crisis situations. As part of efforts to influence change in the hearts and minds towards justice, the organization is putting together a justice concert to create awareness on the issue and also just bring all of us together to become great advocates. And the event in that form of entertainment and rallying people together will feature music, poetry, and spoken word based on the theme of God's justice.
Yes, indeed. Now, you know, Roland, that is actually the theory, one of the main theories that the police are working to, that perhaps these kidnapped girls could be victims of a trafficking ring. So we'll talk a bit more about that later. And then, of course, we're going to host the KJTIA versus Makola crew. I'm such a big fan. They're going to tell us about their journey so far, and of course, what's in store for you as season 3 gets started on Joy Prime. And then, of course, we'll wrap up the show with some showbiz news, brought to us, as always, by Awake Purified Water.
Well, for all the things you have to do, you please get interactive. We also have the latest news update. We'll bring you up to speed with the latest stories published front, back pages of the newspapers, and we'll bring you sports as well. You know, Chelsea, the team has advanced to the League Cup finals, and they're going to play Manchester City. Just think about it. It will be a crunch game, but an interesting game as well.
Yes, indeed. But I guess this is as good a time as any to bring you today's message from the morning man.